you're sitting in front of a panel of 100 family businesses that are second generation, and they're all envious of fifth generation. What are you telling them are the three things that they should be focusing on to make, that transition from second to third?
Ultimately, I think you have to work hard. I think you have to be intentional to go from 2 to 3. As I mentioned a while ago, I'm trying to go from 5 to 6. I think I have to be intentional to make sure that my kids want to do it and that we have a healthy and thriving business. So I think you have to be intentional. You have to really think through it. I think, one of the things that I struggle with to some degree, and I'm working to get better at it, is I'm in the weeds a lot. And I think that folks around me, some maybe founders of businesses going into 2 or 2 going into 3, something that they may be better at than me is disconnecting from the business and going to whatever it is that helps them think through strategy, whether it's an EOS driven or a scaling up driven conversation with your group, a strategy session, or reading a different books or what have you. For me, it's going on vacation and stepping away from the business, trying to turn off phones and distractions and just, really sort of enjoying time with my family, and it clears my head. It gives me the ability to sort of jump back in and be full of energy. I think you need to think through, sort of goes back to the intentional. One of our family business alliance meetings that folks come to listen to things like this, one of the things I thought was the most impactful was they talked about kind of being intentional to the next generation, but also like developing a group of advisors or a board. Some folks might call it a board for legality reasons. They're not a board. They're advisory group or whatever. I think you need to have somebody from the outside that's not connected to the business that can challenge you on strategy and where you're trying to take the business. Because ultimately, I think sometimes, I think from being the leader of our business, I sort of have my impressions, or I have the things in my head that I think I want to do. And then, I convey that to our leadership team. So some of them will fight me on it and some of them will row in the same direction. But ultimately, sometimes I think I'm wrong. And I'm not ashamed to say that. And I think having somebody from the outside, for me, it's Vistage. Is going to Vistage and having these types of conversations when something comes up, and somebody from the outside saying, okay, hold on, wait a minute, Dylan. Have you thought about A, B, and C? I think is extremely important. But it depends on the business, right? If you're a 10-person business and you run a small retail store or a restaurant or something, you're probably not going to have a board of directors or advisory group at that level. It depends on the business, I suppose.